The internet is a vast, endless space, a place of connection, discovery, and sometimes unspeakable horror. Behind the screen, there are mysteries that defy explanation, stories that blur the line between reality and nightmare. Tonight, I'll share 3 true tales of internet mysteries that turned into real-life horrors. These aren't just stories, they're warnings, because sometimes the scariest things aren't in the dark, they're right there on your screen. It started with a link. Sarah was scrolling through an obscure forum late one night when she stumbled upon a thread titled, "Do not visit this site." Curiosity got the better of her, and she clicked the link. The page loaded slowly, revealing a black background with red text that simply read, "Welcome, Sarah." Her blood ran cold. She hadn't entered her name. As she scrolled, the site began to glitch, showing flashes of her own face, her address, even her social security number. She tried to close the tab, but it wouldn't let her. Then, a message appeared. "I'm in your house." She heard footsteps behind her. She never opened that laptop again. Mark was researching urban legends when he found a website called The Black Door. The site was minimal, just a black screen with a single white door in the center. When he clicked the door, it opened to reveal a live feed of his own bedroom. He froze, his heart pounding. The feed glitched, showing a figure standing behind him. He spun around, but the room was empty. When he looked back at the screen, the figure was gone, but the door was still open. He shut his laptop, but the next day he found a single black door drawn on his bedroom wall. Emily was browsing a forum when she saw a post titled, "Do you want to play?" She clicked it, and a chat window popped up. The user, named Admin, began asking personal questions. Her favorite color, her childhood pet's name. She answered thinking it was harmless. Then, Admin said, "I'm outside your window." She laughed it off, until she heard a knock. She never used that forum again, but she still gets messages from Admin, even after changing her username. Jake was watching a YouTube video when the screen glitched, revealing a distorted face staring back at him. The video resumed, but the face remained, hidden in the background. He tried to close the tab, but the video kept playing, the face growing closer with each second. Then, his webcam light turned on. He covered it, but the video showed him doing so. He unplugged his computer, but the next day he found the same video saved on his phone, with a new face in the background. They ran, their hearts pounding, their flashlights bouncing wildly. The whispers followed them, growing louder with every step. They burst through the front doors, the cold night air hitting them like a slap. They didn't stop until they were in the car, driving away as fast as they could. But even as they left, they could still hear the whispers and see the figure standing in the school doorway, watching them go. After that night, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. They started seeing shadows in the corners of their vision, hearing whispers in the silence. One night, one of them woke up to find a handprint on their bedroom window. From the inside. They never went back to the school, but they still hear those whispers, even now. But cursed websites aren't the only dangers lurking online. Sometimes the scariest mysteries are hidden in plain sight. It was supposed to be a harmless chat room, a place to talk about shared interests. But as soon as Sarah joined, she noticed something off. The other users didn't type like normal people. Their messages were disjointed, almost robotic. Then one user, named Host, began addressing her directly. "Sarah, why did you lie about your age?" She froze. She hadn't shared that information. The messages grew more personal, more invasive. Host knew her address, her workplace, even her daily routine. She tried to leave, but the chat room wouldn't let her. Then, her webcam turned on by itself. She unplugged her computer. but the messages kept coming. On her phone, her tablet, even her smart TV. The chat room was quiet at first, just a few users exchanging casual messages, but then Host joined. Their messages were cryptic, almost poetic. "The walls have eyes," they wrote. "The floor has ears." Sarah laughed it off, but then Host said, "You're sitting in a blue chair." She was. She tried to leave, but the chat room froze. Then her webcam turned on. She covered it, but the messages kept coming. "Why are you hiding? I can still see you." The messages started small, just a few odd phrases here and there, but then Host began describing Sarah's room in detail. "I like your lamp," they wrote. "It's shaped like a star." Sarah's lamp was shaped like a star. She tried to leave, but the chat room wouldn't let her. Then her webcam turned on. She unplugged her computer, but the messages kept coming. On her phone, her tablet, even her smart TV. Sarah unplugged her computer, but the messages kept coming. She turned off her phone, but the chat room opened on her tablet. She smashed the tablet, but the messages appeared on her smart TV. Finally, she disconnected the Wi-Fi, but the messages still came. Through her neighbor's network. She moved out the next day, but she still gets messages from Host, even without a device. After the chat room incident, Sarah tried to trace Host's IP address, but it led to a dead end. The chat room itself had vanished, leaving no trace. She contacted the authorities, but they found nothing. The messages stopped for a while, but they always come back. No matter how many devices she throws away. The truth was worse than she imagined. Host wasn't just a hacker. They were something else. Something that didn't need an IP address or a device to reach her. Sarah moved across the country, changed her name, even got a new phone. But the messages still come. Host always finds her. Always. But sometimes the scariest internet mysteries are the ones that hit closest to home. It started with a video. A short, grainy clip of a figure standing in a dark room. The caption read, "Watch until the end." Sarah clicked play. The figure didn't move at first, but as the video progressed, it began to twitch, then jerk, then crawl toward the screen. Sarah tried to close the tab, but the video kept playing. Then, the figure reached out and touched the screen. Sarah's monitor cracked. She unplugged her computer, but the next day the video was saved on her phone, with a new figure in the background. The video was short, just a few seconds long, but as Sarah watched, she noticed something strange. The figure in the video wasn't just moving, it was reacting. When she leaned closer, it leaned closer. When she turned away, it turned away. She tried to close the tab, but the video kept playing. Then, the figure reached out and touched the screen. Sarah's monitor cracked. She unplugged her computer, but the next day the video was saved on her phone, with a new figure in the background. Sarah deleted the video, but it kept reappearing. She factory reset her phone, but the video was there when it turned back on. She smashed the phone, but the video appeared on her tablet. Finally, she disconnected from the internet, but the video still played from a device she didn't own. She moved out the next day, but the video follows her wherever she goes. After the video incident, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She started seeing the figure in the corner of her vision, hearing its footsteps in the silence. One night, she woke up to find the video playing on her TV, with a new figure in the background. She never went back to that house, but the video still follows her, even now. The internet is a place of endless possibilities, but it's also a place of endless dangers. These stories are reminders that sometimes the scariest things aren't in the dark. They're right there on your screen. So the next time you're online, remember these tales. And ask yourself, what's watching you from the other side?